Cool. And if anyone else hops on, that's no problem. I'm going to mute you guys just so there's no feedback, but if anyone there we go. If anyone has anything, just unmute yourself. It's not so that you can't talk. All right, so I wanted to talk about inviting. I know we talk about this like all the time, every day, all the time, but I actually was thinking about this a lot after we had a I don't have any words right now. We had a, what do you call it? Power hour that we did last week. I was thinking about the power hour, and we were all, talking when we were doing our messages and stuff. And there was one point where, you have to send like, hey girl messages, or messages that are kind of just like generic, like checking on your birthday, or seeing how their day is, or saying how cute their kids are. And one of the girls on the call was like, oh my God, I love these. These are easy. It takes me 2 seconds. And I was like, oh my goodness, I hate these. I am so bad at small talk. I'm like a get right to the point type of person. And then, the next one came where it's like, ask someone to the coaching opportunity, or whatever it was exactly. It was like a direct invite. And I was like, oh, that's fine. I can do those. I don't have to think twice about them. And the other person, obviously different personality types, were like, oh, I hate doing those. Those scare me. So it got me thinking. Well, obviously we know there's not one way to do any of this, but you really need to know yourself and know what type of messaging works best for you. If you're like me and you don't like the small talk, then work with that. And I'll tell you how to do that in a minute. We'll go through each opportunity. But if you're very good at small talk, I know Samantha's awesome with the small talk and very good at starting that way and leading it into coaching or a product or whatever the situation is. Eventually stick with that. You got to, there are times in your business that you will need to strengthen your weaknesses. But for right now, at the point we're all out, let's ride our strengths really hard and focus on them, and put it. It takes far less effort to do that than it does to strengthen your weaknesses. So I really want you guys to focus on that. If you're not sure what's easier for you, if they both scare you, we can talk about that too. But there's probably one that's less scary to you. Do you guys think you know which one's more scary and which one's less scary, which type of message? Yeah. Okay. So for me, I'm going to use my, examples of how I feel when I'm inviting. I'm a black and white person. I'm an emerald personality. I know Anthony is too. I think Stacy might be too. I can't remember now. Is Stacy an emerald? I can't remember either now. So, we're black and white sometimes. Emerald Pearl, yeah, I think you're the same as me, and Anthony too. So we're very black and white. We're like straight to the point. Sometimes it comes off abrasive and mean, and doesn't mean to be. Like, I'm just like, no fluff, get to the point. I don't care if people told me that. I'd actually frankly rather someone tell me the price of something upfront so I can make my own decisions. I don't want to beat around the bush and ask 5,000 questions. That's my personality. Not because I'm trying to be rude or hurry people along. I just like facts. I'm a numbers person. I do numbers at work all day. That's how I work. So when it comes to just sending someone a birthday message, that's where I always stop on my tracker. Hey, sweetie. I always stop there on my tracker because it scares me so much and it makes me so nervous that I don't do anything else. Because like when we used to do power hours, we did them all the time and we would just run through the list and boom, boom, boom. And afterwards I would like have anxiety from it because I actually felt fake doing it. It wasn't my personality to send those weird messages that weren't me. I was doing what other people told me to do, which is totally fine. You got to figure out what works for you and what doesn't. That takes time by trial and error. But so I figured out that doesn't work for me. But what I do to make it so that I can just ask people to purchase basically is I get them to come to me. And I do that by sharing my story, sharing my failures and successes and all that stuff on my page, doing kind of I even just did a post right before the call about kind of a coaching opportunity post about what I used my Beachbody money on this week. And, I put it at the bottom, like, if you're interested, send me a message. I do a lot of that because it's how my personality works. I want people to reach out to me. That way I can I know they want some information and I can give them information because that's how my brain works. So if that's how your brain works and you're an information-based person, then you can do it that way. Do you have any questions about, I know we're like split 50-50 on the call right now, and who's kind of information based in their brain and who's more feelings based, I'd say. And no, there's no right or wrong, and there's no like better or worse. It's just, as long as you know what you are, you can work with it. Do you guys have any questions for the ones that are information based, how to get people to you, or just do a direct invite? Does that make sense? Because also what I do a lot of is I like and comment on people's stuff all the time. So eventually they'll start following me and come to me. Doesn't happen all the time. I still have to reach out to people, but I can say something like, hey, I saw that you liked my health and fitness post. Are you or anyone you know on a journey that you think I could help? I'm still looking to help people. That's my second personality type, but it can come in a more informative way. And, you have to know who you're dealing with too. But so when we're talking about the more feelings people, which Samantha's a sapphire, Brooke's a pearl, they are definitely helpers and want to know about people, and not saying that us emeralds don't want to build relationships. We just do it in a different way and need to know how that is. But the other personalities, sapphires and pearls, no, I don't want to restart my computer now. Give me a break. Hold on. Where's this button? Snooze. Those personalities work more with feelings. So Samantha is so good at starting connections with people and Brooke sends awesome birthday messages like consistently. And Samantha, can ask people how their kids are. And I'm like, dude, I don't barely care about my kid. I don't think I have time to listen about your kid. Just kidding. But I don't necessarily like going around talking about my kid either. So it's just personalities, which is why I focus so much on the GEM test. So when it comes to that type of personality, there are so many ways to go into it. I honestly, maybe it's because I don't have that personality, I think it's easier. I'm sure everyone thinks like the opposite is easier, but how easy it is to send a birthday message. If Brooke, if you have one that you could type in the chat, what you usually send, I think you just say like, hey, happy birthday, hope you had a great day. Something like that, maybe ask a question. It gets the conversation going and it's open and you're free to talk. And eventually they will come around and say to you, oh my God, you look so great and so happy. What have you been doing? Or, hey, I saw you're a Beachbody coach. What's that about? Or something. It always comes out. Or they'll just say, what do you do for work? Something like that. Hey, how was your birthday? Did you do anything fun to celebrate? Love to catch up soon. Oh, Lordy, that sends anxiety up and down my throat. I don't know about you guys. Because then they're going to respond with how about you? And I'm like, I did some laundry and some dishes today. And I cried a little at work because it sucked. I don't know. That was about my day. So I sent one today to stand out a little. Hey, sorry I'm late. Oh, hey. Okay. Oh, I see. You send it a day late. Okay. Sorry, I get it. You send it the next day. That's smart. So you stand out. Reading my specialty. Audio. I need Audible for this. Yes, that makes I taught you that. Yeah, so send the birthday message. Honestly, I don't mind the birthday message. It's just not it still makes me a little uncomfortable. And so with that, you can also do the A to Z messages. You go straight through your friends list, print it out. You can export your friends list, just Google it, print out your friends list, go down, say Abby Smith is the first person. Hey, Abby, like a few of her pictures or photos. That's what I used to do. I'd take the A's and I'd like all the A's. I'd like all the A's. Then I'd go the next day, like all the B's. Then I'd go back the next day and send messages to the A's. Then, kind of keep going. So you like them the day before and you message them the next day. So you're in their mind a little bit. Then you can say, your daughter's so cute. How old is she? How was going back to work after maternity leave? I can't believe you have 3 new puppies, whatever. I'm just thinking about people on my friends list right now. Whatever their thing is, you can talk to them about that. Eventually it'll come around to Beachbody. And if it doesn't and the conversation dies, just be like, hey, it was so good connecting with you. I've been thinking about you and I love this about you and I think you'd be really great in my accountability group. Do you think that'd be something you'd have a lot to bring to the table? Do you think that'd be something you'd be interested in? Or, I loved when we, used to work together and, we always did whatever, I don't know, whatever silly things you did at work. I would love to have you a part of my team so we can keep that going, things like that, whatever you can make that connection with. Sam, do you have anything, or Brooke, to say about like how you send those, and if that is really your comfort zone more so?
I don't really do A to Z because I feel like I would never get to the Z's. I like the idea of that though.
It's true.
I just kind of do, I guess. I like to start with who's liking and commenting on my posts. That's kind of where I start,
Mm-hmm.
or like I'll go to Instagram, or who's been like, or who's looking at my day. So that's kind of where I start with those people.
And what do you
And
message them? Just like, hey, how are you stuff?
I look at their Facebook and see if there's something I can, something, like you said, exactly what you said. And then, hey, pretty much what you do. Yeah, like, I hope the start of the school year is great. I hope you had a great summer or something like that. I just wanted to pop in and say hi. I haven't checked in with you in a while. Something, not an invite. If it's been a
Right.
while, not an invite. Like at
Right.
first, just a building rapport, like a connecting, because you don't want them to feel like that's all.
Right.
I
Exactly.
would come across that I genuinely care, which I do. I do. So.
Yeah, you do. Definitely. That's awesome. Anyone else have anything that they like to say, of what either fears that they have? And I'm going to tell you in a second how I get over my fears, because as you know, I'm not a conversationalist. I can talk to you guys like and lead a group like this, but it's like the back and forth dialogue, not my style. Like at work, my phone rang like 4 times today and I didn't answer it. I replied in an email. But is there anything that you guys have? Yes, Stace?
I just had a question for you guys, because I feel like I'm putting a lot of work into like faking the small talk, because I totally hate it and it totally bothers me. But I put so much energy into it, and then the people that I think are kind of on the hook, like 2 weeks later, they're posting about Beachbody and Shakeology, and so they've clearly purchased it from somebody who's not me. And so I'm like, well, I was building that and starting that, and they were saying they were maybe interested. So I guess I'm missing the connection as to like, why are they then getting it from someone else when I'm already forging that? And the only thing I can think of is a lot of them are already involved in other, mid-level marketing products. And so that they're just going to someone else who is buying more of their product to then like do a, hey, now I'll support you, which I totally get and support, but I just, it's defeating me a little bit. I'm feeling a little deflated by it, because I feel like those are my actual connections. And then to see that, yes, they were interested and they were willing to try it, but then they didn't purchase with me. I don't know how to kind of overcome that.
That's a good question. There are a couple of things that may be happening. Possibly they might not quite get how it works and that you actually sell it. So they may have gone online and just purchased it and just ordered it off of the website, and you did all the work and didn't get the credit for it. So if it was me, unless they're like unless you can like see them keep tagging a coach, are you singing that? Yeah. Okay. So in that case, there's nothing you can do. You don't want to steal a customer. But if you hadn't saw that, you could have said, hey, I saw that you started, like, do you have a coach that you're working with that's running an accountability group? Because I make sure that they know that. So, because we're not just selling a product, we're offering them help. So like, do you have a coach that you're working with that's offering accountability group? If not, I'd love to have you join mine. And then you get them switched over and everything. But yeah, it's definitely, since you're the similar personality type to me, that it's awkward and it becomes stale and you're like, okay, thanks, bye. And then it's nothing. So, dive into the question earlier, because that's your comfort zone and you feel ready. Like, don't feel like, a day is fine. It's fine to say, hey, how are your kids? How's this? How's that? And then say, I'm sure you've seen that I'm a health and fitness coach. Do you have any health, fitness goals that you're trying to reach, or whatever your question is? Let's see. How do you feel about going back to the person? Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Bonnie Engel loves that. Going back and saying, I'm so happy that you found a coach that, you mesh with and works well with. If there's anything ever I can do to help you in the future, I'm always here for you. As I am a new coach, I'm always or even doesn't even have to be a new coach, frankly. As I'm a coach, I'm always looking to improve, my business. And I was wondering if there's anything that I could have done differently to have you work with me instead. And, maybe she'll respond, maybe she won't, but at least she'll know that you're always open to helping her. And like, I had this girl in my challenge group, who I just let in because I don't know, I just felt like it. It was no more work to have her in there, and she was doing some programs and wanted the extra support. And then all of a sudden her coach quit, and she's like, okay, now can I switch my stuff over to you? And she did. And I wasn't like trying to steal her or anything. I just added her to my group without even like having her switch to me as a customer. And then she came to me asking to switch to me. So, it's definitely worth keeping the relationships open and getting to the sale point earlier. Maybe focusing on reading some books relating to sales. I don't know why it's such a sleazy word. It's like money and stuff is sleazy. Like it shouldn't be. We're literally in sales. We're salespeople. That's it. We're helpers too, and we do a lot of other stuff, but we're trying to sell a product here. So don't be afraid of that. Now, here's another main point that I wanted to talk about with the fear piece of it. So knowing yourself is number one, which as I was thinking about how I was going into this call tonight and prepping for it, I actually decided that I think knowing yourself is the number one reason why people fail this business. I think it's a lot of different things, but I think like knowing yourself and knowing the little details of how you work best, how you can best help people, what you really want is really about knowing yourself. So I think once, we talk about these things and know what type of personality you are, that how you work is definitely going to help you run your business, because, sending messages that make you feel icky is not going to make you want to run the business. And I'm the same way. Like, I don't want to send those messages. They're not my personality. And if I received one, like if you guys had received a message that was like someone just checking in on you, you would be fine with it. Me, I'm like, oh, just ask me. I know you want something from me. Just ask me. I'd rather you just ask me what it is, so knowing yourself is really important. And here are a few things that I do before I send messages when I'm afraid. Even if I hate sending messages. It's the least favorite part of my job. And I think it is of even like the toughest coaches. So when I'm like getting ready for my invites, whenever I don't usually do like a straight power hour because I have a lot of pockets during the day. But what I say to myself is, if I'm feeling like, I know I can help that person, but I'm like scared because they're going to think this, that, and this of me or whatever. They're going to say no, whatever my fear is. I say to myself, am I happy that my coach talked to me about Beachbody and Shakeology and the programs? Obviously, yes. Like, I don't know where it would be like ginormous sitting in my big chair at work. Like, yes, I'm happy that she asked me. Then I say to myself, do I think this person can be helped with the products we offer? 99% of the time it's yes. I don't know a problem that we can't help fix, and then, say to yourself, like, would you feel right holding their future in your mouth because you didn't offer them this opportunity? If Nikki had never asked me, like we have 100 coaches on our little team alone, we wouldn't have been able to help 100 of you people if Nikki hadn't asked me. And if no one had asked Nikki, she wouldn't have helped the 3,000 people on her team or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So like, you can't hold those people that you're want to talk to's future in your mouth with your lips shut. Like, this is not fair to them. And it wouldn't be, I'm sure you guys all feel the same way. I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but you wouldn't, have this opportunity if your coach hadn't asked you here. And I presume you're all here and happy because you're on the call. So, think of those 3 questions. Maybe someone could write them down because now I forgot what I said exactly, but post them in the team page. But ask yourself those 3 questions before you go to message someone. And it'll, at least for me, it kind of alleviates some of the stress. So I'm not as worried because I know I have something good to offer them. I'm not offering them those like paper nail things that you put on to make your nails colorful. Can that help someone? I would feel sleazy selling those things. Like, maybe some face stuff that makes you look younger, sure, that could help a person. But selling those nail gel things that make your nails colorful, I couldn't do that with a pure heart. And I know the people that do Beachbody and are on this team and last, at least, have a really, a heart of gold that they want to help people. It's not, there's more behind it than just the sale, which is kind of what we're talking about. But there's more to it. So when you think about that deep part of it, about the helping people, it kind of gets you over the fear of, okay, I know even if they don't see it right away that helping them is my full purpose. I know that is what I'm trying to get out of them. So, write them down, have them near you when you're inviting, ask yourself those questions. If the answer is no to some of them, hey, move on, unfollow that person and move on. Whenever I have someone on my Facebook friends list that is not quite my person, I'm not saying you can't sell to a lot of different people, but like, there are some people you're like, ooh, I couldn't imagine talking to you every day. You're not my cup of tea. You're really, negative, and I don't think you'd be a benefit in my life, or whatever the situation is, or, maybe they're not in their space right now to do Beachbody. I unfollow them for a little bit, because it unclogs your news feed. It lets you see people that you want to see and help. And, doesn't make you say ugh every time you scroll past their like political post or whatever the rant is of the day, or negativity, which I know none of you guys, at least when I scroll Facebook, we all have our moments, please believe me. But like with scrolling Facebook, I can scroll all your guys' pages and don't see an ounce of negativity. And that's my people. Like we got enough going on in our day-to-day stuff. We don't need to see it every 5 seconds. So that's the kind of person that I'm looking for when I'm on Facebook. And then I would invite, you don't want to have people on your team that are not your people, So all this inviting is when we're talking about Shakeology, a workout program, or coaching. So there doesn't have to be one or the other. Oh, that was already there. Okay. Okay. Does anyone have any questions on the things that I've covered so far? I know there's not really a black and white answer or a way to make you get over your fears. I've read probably 5 books on fear. But I should say, sorry, I know I just asked you guys a question and now I'm still talking, but that's kind of how I roll. Obviously, when I talk for 45 minutes straight. I actually just downloaded the book, The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. I'm about halfway through it. And I got to tell you, it's really made me step outside my comfort zone. The basic philosophy of the book is you have 5 seconds to make a decision. So I think about this when I'm inviting. Like if I see someone and I'm, spend half my day scrolling Facebook and I see someone, I'm like, oh, I'd really like to talk to them. And I just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, yeah, send, and walk away. You just count down and then just do the thing. So like the other day I was wanting to rent a lake house for me and Poppy, which is what I just posted about for my coaching opportunity post. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And then she was like, well, someone else is asking about it. And I was like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, yeah, I'll take it. And I just walked away. Like, it's just like a matter of just doing it, because that's the fear is, oh no, I can't remember me. I can't remember the quotes for what fear stands for. It could be one of 2 things. Failure. Anyways, sometimes it looks like you guys are going to type me the right quote and I get all excited and I'm waiting for it. And then I'm like, I don't think I can make this go on any longer. So anyways, fear is just a whatever, and you can look up that quote, but,
false evidence appearing real.
Yeah. See, yeah. Just hop in anytime.
Sorry, I couldn't find my unmute button. I was like, I got it.
Thank you. So fear is you do more PD or whatever you need to do, because it's just a weird state of mind that is so not even there. Like when Poppy talks about monsters, she talks about monsters. I'm like, you don't even know that. Like, obviously, I don't say this to her, but it's not even a thing. Like, what are you talking about? She thinks a monster truck is what monsters drive because the kids were talking about it at school. I'm like, oh no, it's just a big truck. You're such a girl. But like, it's just this weird thing that she makes up in her mind that means absolutely nothing. And so I kind of try to bring myself down to her level and be like, okay, that fear of this person, you know how many people have said no to me, like straight out no, in 3 years? I could probably count them on one hand, honestly. They might have said, not right now, or not responded. The people that have been like, no, please don't talk to me again, or please don't ask me about that, or I never want to coach, or blah, blah, blah. Definitely less than 5, I'd say. They're like, I had a lady the other day who said she was going to order, all set. She was logged in, blah, 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 signed in, and never ordered and hasn't responded to my last 3 messages. She didn't say no. But, so that's not my fear. If you like think about it and break it down, you're like, okay, what's really my fear? They're going to judge me? I put pictures of myself in my bra and underwear on Facebook. You think it gets worse than that? I know people don't say kind things about me all the time. I might get 50 nice comments, but I know people don't always say nice things. Hello, we're women. I know how people are. But that doesn't bother me. So what is it really? You got to just think about what really is that fear. And is it that you're not going to know the answer to the question that they ask you? that could be a legitimate fear. Like, sometimes people say like, what is blah, blah, blah in Shakeology? And you're like, well, just preview the message and go look it up or post it on the team page like that. That is a legitimate thing. And I think that, people can be afraid of, but that's something easy that we can all help with. We're quick to answer questions in the team page or private messages usually. So think about what it truly is that's making you afraid, because I have no idea for me what it is that scares me about inviting. I think it's like kind of just the back and forth conversation that I have to have with people. The talking. It's weird. I don't know. I can't think of anything else that I'm not afraid that they're going to say no. I'm not afraid of what they're going to say about me behind my back. I'm not afraid of not knowing the answer. But it still is hard. So I just want you guys to know that you're not alone. I know, I'm in a couple group chats with some of the top leaders on Nikki's team, and you're not the only ones that are afraid, and I'm not the only one that's afraid of sending messages. It's just something we need to do to help more people. And some people, if we're afraid of asking people, don't you think people are afraid of asking us? They've got to be sitting there like, God, I saw Katie's post and I put a heart and I loved it and I really want to do what she's doing, but yet she doesn't talk to me about it. So I guess I'll just sit here and maybe someday someone will come around, So just put yourself in their shoes. And, I don't know everyone's situation on how they started, but, were you afraid when you reached out to your coach? Most of you probably not, but no, I know, Maggie's. But honestly, like, you were probably afraid. You might not have been afraid to talk to me about it, but you're probably afraid of starting and like nervous of jumping in and the fear of failure or something like that. Not necessarily to talking to me, I hope. All right. So any questions or like conversations that you've started that you've like been afraid of finishing, or any inviting and fear situations that you can? Did I set you guys free and now you're going to go message thousands of people? Just kidding.
I just had one other like advice question. So I'm not loving Shift Shop.
Oh, that's okay.
I have not been like my usual happy posty self because I'm just stuck at it. Like I'm not at the level of fitness I feel like I need to be at to be successful at it. So I'm like giving up halfway through workouts. I'm skipping a workout. And I felt like when I was doing programs I was really good at or like feeling energized by, I was posting much more and much more positively, but I don't want to like not complete Shift Shop. So any ideas on that?
Yeah, you're definitely not alone there. I started, well, first of all, when my mentor asked me to do it for the test group, he didn't ask me. He said, what do you think about Shift Shop? That was his first question to me. And I said, that looks absolutely stupid. I hate agility. I hate cardio. I'm not going to do it because I suck at those things. And he was like, well, you were selected to be in the test group. And I was like, well, yay, I can't wait. I'm so excited. But those are not my type of workouts. And I still cannot do a bear crawl. And this is my 11th week. And I can hold it for like 8 seconds. I can't twist. I can't do the twisty thing. I can't do the touchy thing. I just try to hold the damn bear crawl for as long as possible. And it's like 8 seconds, and I'm not exaggerating. It's definitely it can be a defeating feeling, but you can definitely move on to another program. But I think it's worth sticking out and trying it and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and talking about that. That's a perfect feeling of, you don't have to say like, hey, I hate the program, but say like, I don't like doing things I'm not good at. You're an Emerald too. Like I actually said that about my job today. Like I hate doing things I'm not good at. It's not fun. I like winning and I don't feel like I'm winning at this. And I do those. I can't tell you, I honestly probably modify the modifier on 50% of the things and still have good results. But it definitely pushes me outside of my comfort zone. And I like the weight days. I don't like the cardio days. But and week 2 is definitely the hardest week. Week 3 and one's the easiest, but 3 is definitely a little bit better. But week 2 is just brutal. What week are you on? 3? Yeah. And coming off week 2 is the worst. So push through this week. I know you only have a week left, but talk about it. It's okay not to love everything or to talk about what parts of it you've realized that you do like of a certain program, or what things you're struggling on. Or if you suck at bear crawls like I do, take a video of yourself for holding your knees off the ground this much for 8 seconds and say, hey, maybe next week it'll be 12 seconds or something like that, or show some sort of progress that can help you move on to, no one's perfect at anything. And if you can, I can't even do the plank. I'm plank on my knees every time.
I want to say, one of my favorite things that Sam, that you do is your your blooper videos, or you not even blooper, it's you like screwing it up. And no, it's like so relatable. And I'm too much of a perfectionist, honestly, to put like me messing up. And I admire it so much, but it's so real. And I feel like that's the type of stuff that people are like, oh, good, I'm glad you don't have to be like perfect at doing it. I would never.
I ran into a wall in my workout.
No, Sam, I literally like hysterically laugh. I get it. It's like part of your brand too. You're like silly and whatever. But like it, as somebody who is a super perfectionist, it would hold me back a lot, to be honest. If I was entering a program and thought that I needed to be perfect doing it, it would be enough that like my personality wouldn't even try it, because I would be like, no way. So like it definitely helps people. Like,
thank you. That's a lovely comment. And I think, Stacy, this is a really great way to kind of pick a story to tell, like what we were talking about with the storyteller piece last week, with the fitness piece, financial, emotional, like, and I know like your other part of your story that you're not ready to share, and I totally get that. So this is a great place to start, because not that it's easier, and I definitely don't want to downplay feeling like you're not doing good at something, because that sucks big time. But it's a kind of a easier one to share than like your other big stories, and all of us have big stories, but like it's a great place to start. And it doesn't have to, the post doesn't have to be, I'm a big failure, have a great day, guys, like, does anyone else out there like feel like, or like, this is how I feel when I get 2 weeks into something and I just want to quit, and it's happening again. Oh my God. That's okay. Like, that's a fine thing to say to people. I did not like T25, and I gave honest opinions about it. I didn't dog the program, because it wasn't the program's fault. It was the fact that I don't push myself in cardio. So that's not a good match for me. The only reason I push myself is because I've taken Energize every single cardio day this program. The only reason, even at 4:15 in the morning when I get up to do my workouts, I take Energize at 4:20. So like doing something like that is a great way to post. And it does suck when like you were so used to, like, because you succeeded so well the last round and you're like, yeah, look at me, I'm awesome. And it's so fun to post those things. And that's how, like, like for me, if I'm not doing well with my vital behaviors, I have nothing to post about. Or if I don't feel good about them, I have nothing to post about. So I totally get that. And that's a good indication. Okay, I got to dig deep and see, how can I make my message?
Yeah, totally.
Just to wrap back to your question about the inviting, I think me being one of your leaders, and I'm so comfortable in the talking area of messaging, you can jump right into the invite after 2 messages. I don't want my style to hold you back, because if that's how you are, and I remember going through the inviting process with you, and there was lots of questions. You wanted very specifics. You wanted to know exactly how much it would cost for how long. And you told me how long you were going to be on it and blah, blah, blah. And I remember talking to Katie. I was like, oh my God, this girl is exactly like you. She's such an emerald, and she hasn't even started coaching. And we always attract our opposites. That's why Katie and I get along, because emerald and sapphires. But so that's that, use your strength there. I sit in the conversation zone because that's my comfort zone. Doing an invite, I'm like, oh my God, I can't look.
Yeah. Yes, DNA on a good day. DNA keeps us together.
Yeah, true story.
Cool. All right, I think this is good. And talking about it, if you guys say, like, post in the team page, like, hey, I have this girlfriend who is this, that, and this, and I think she would like this, but, whatever the situation is, or what's a generic post I can send, or whatever the thing is, or message I can send, put it in the team page and we can walk you guys through it. That's once you get like higher up in the levels, you get a lot more one-on-one attention, and that's kind of what we do way up there. Like, kind of break down messages like piece by piece, or like, how can we help this person, or this is what conversation I had with this person today. Because sometimes it's easier to see like through someone else's eyes, and you get your emotions out of it, and they can kind of help you with the message a little bit more. Sometimes easier.
I know we have less than a minute. I'm totally scared of what people think of me all the time in life, like walking down the street, like people I'll never see again in my entire life. So it's terrifying, but maybe we can do a competition of some kind.
Okay.
Of doing stuff that scares us. And 2, I've been waiting to post this before and after picture of me that Katie, for like, I don't know, 6 months. So maybe like tomorrow.
Yeah. How about right now?
Or right now.
Go do it. You have 1 minute and 16 seconds. Just kidding. Yeah, no, I love those ideas. And it is, every decision I make is based on personality types. So maybe we can talk about that again more next week. Actually, next week someone else is going to lead the call because I'll be on vacation. But all right, we got less than a minute. Anyone else have it? Sam looked like she was about to say something. Okay, cool. So I hope this helped a little bit. Just know that you're not alone in your fear, and that, we can still be successful even with, I made it to 3 stars somehow with the fear of inviting, and I hate it, and it gives me the heebie-jeebies, and I have messages. Even responding to messages still gives me nerves. To girls that have been my customers forever. They're friends. I mean, not you guys, like when you message me, but like people that I'm trying to help. I don't know what it is. So sometimes you just got to do it and know that, in the end, you can help people. All right. I'll post this recording for you guys for the rest of your team, but if you need anything else, post it in the group. And yeah, go Maggie, go. Boom. Done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
We're going to hold you to that.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. It was good to see everybody.